Greetings, family, greetings, brothers and sisters. Today is not a very good day in Kenya. We can say it's a bittersweet because on one side we have won, but on the other, we have lost so many young lives. It's sad for Kenya. It's sad, but the government doesn't care because all this is their doing. So yesterday was what we called the mother of all protests against the government of William Ruto and the bill that is supposed to be the new finance bill 2024 for the country, and people are against it. We talked about this, and it's something people don't want because of a lot of things. So yesterday we got into buses, we went to town, those who could find transport, but mostly there was no transport. So most people walked for over 20 or more kilometers just to be there. The police barricaded the roads, but people still went there. And when we got there, we found millions of people picketing, raising their voice to be heard. Millions of people in the CBD of Nairobi, and people, pushed for this bill not to be passed. We are talking about the bill. You remember, this is the reason why all this started. And the bill is called Finance Bill 2024 for Kenya. It aims at increasing the tax collected from Kenya. And I think these are the IMF, requirements or adjustment programs, SAPs. So they need to increase their tax base. Like the government of Kenya needs to increase their tax base. But to do that, they tax everything. They increase taxes. It's so difficult. It's gonna be so hectic for many Kenyans. So people said no, and one of the reasons that people said no is our parliamentarians or national members of National Assembly. They are these corrupt people who online TikTok, they are showing you lifestyles of opulence, and they are not paid that much. People buying vehicles of up to 50 something million, watches worth 6 million, belts, shoes worth 100,000 Kenya shillings, that's about $10,000. And people are angry because you want to tax us more so that you can fund your opulence, so that the president can keep flying every week in, out, as he goes to the West to sell our country. No, it's not happening. So that's why people are in town, because yesterday, that was the 25th, Tuesday 25th, 2024, was the second reading. The parliament had passed the first session, and they passed the bill to go to a second reading. Then after the second reading, it's supposed to go to the government tomorrow, 27th, 2024. But when people were in town, they realized that these guys had already passed the bill. So they said we have to occupy parliament and stop that bill from passing. But the moment they were going to parliament, the police had used tear gas, the police had used water cannons, and the police started using lead bullets. And there are reports that on some high buildings in Nairobi, there were snipers who were shooting young people, headshots, killing them instantly. And we lost a lot of young lives in Nairobi town from the police. We had a lot of bullet injuries for young people. The hospitals are full right now. Some of the people who were shot, including medical doctors who are giving services to the people who are hurt. This protest is supposed to be a peaceful protest, and the people are very well organized. We have lawyers. When you are arrested, they come and get you from the jail,
Police, yeah.
or police cell. We have doctors. When you are hurt, you are taken to them, they treat you. One doctor, who's a very young guy, had organized around over 3,000 doctors countrywide to do that for free. We have people donating blood because people are sure that the police would go rogue, and they went rogue. A lot of bodies lie outside parliament, but people managed to get inside parliament, and the parliamentarians ran away. But unfortunately, they had passed the bill.
And we also have people collecting funds. A lot of funds, millions of Kenya shillings have been donated by, Kenyans from Kenya in the diaspora.
Yeah.
People are helping
No cost.
those who
Yeah.
have been injured, those who have lost their loved ones. It's just amazing.
It's a very organized thing.
Yeah.
And people are against this because one, it will make the lives of people so difficult. And two, because as much as we can say, yes, we are funding our country, we are not seeing any development. The only thing we are seeing is the development of the politicians. Their opulence lifestyles on social media, TikToks and all that. Then when we talk about it online, they come out very arrogantly to say, we don't care what you are saying, it will pass and all that. Then
no matter what you do,
yeah,
you're
this
just
has pushed
stupid young people, criminals who don't know what you are doing and what you want.
and they are labeling this thing as a Gen Z protest to make it look like a kids thing.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's everybody going to the streets. The majority are the young people, so we can see it's true Gen Z are there, but we have millennials. So after this arrogance, we are seeing people wanting to approach both the president, the vice president, and his people. After the government had said that after 6:30 people should leave, and actually people left at about 5. People left, and the president was very angry because people had stormed the parliament, eaten food, taken things, worn
burnt down parts of the parliament.
Yeah, burnt the parliament, the city hall. They burnt the Senate, their parliament, and some police cars. And people are very angry. So people left. But the president said that they are activating a decree to make it a state of emergency. So they are bringing in the military because the police cannot be unable to contain or control these people. But what happened later after that, they went to an estate which is a suburb of Nairobi. It's called Githurai 45. And there, guys, it was guns, bullets and bullets and bullets. Overnight. A lot of people have been killed. There are reports that there are over 300 actually, who were killed. So over 300. It's, guys, listen to this. Imagine that's an estate where people were peaceful. People, actually some women were shot when they were leaving their workplaces. Imagine a woman who has kids at home leaving her workplace short, and the kids are waiting for their mother. It's painful. It's painful. And it's great. I don't know what to say. A lot of people were killed in Githurai 45. And now, later in the night, the president made a statement, a media press conference. And he was very angry, and he said, those are criminals, and we are going to deal with them. We are releasing the military. But all this was, I think, to scare people. But the problem is, the good thing about all this is when you tell the young people about there's something, or the president comes and says, I'm doing this, the young people go and gets the constitution and says, this is what the constitution says.
You're not allowed to.
So you are not allowed to say it, or to say that this is to declare a state of emergency, because you have to go through the parliament. So first he declared it a state of emergency through the Ministry of Defense. They activated the barracks, that is the military, and today morning, that is when he now went ahead to, they rushed to parliament to pass it, to become the state of emergency. But later in the day, I think he called his members of parliament and they talked, and they said, we have to calm this thing down. I think the military is not up to it, and it seems if they go the military way, we might become BURKINAFASO and he might lose.
It doesn't want.
So today at 4 p.m. he made a statement. One thing is he said that he's withdrawing the bill, and
He's not
immediately
gonna sign the
he's
bill.
not going to sign it. He's withdrawing it. The problem is he cannot withdraw it. So people pull the constitution again. And what does the constitution says? It says when the president has not signed, he gives the recommendation, takes it back to parliament. They do it again. They take it to
They
him.
pass it.
They pass it. And if he doesn't sign and stays with it, it just becomes
Automatically passed after 21 days.
after 21 days. Actually, it's 14 days at first. Then he has to sign before 14 days. Then if it goes back to parliament, stays for 7 days, comes back, that is 21 days. But at first, it's 14 days. If he's not going to take it back to parliament right now, in 14 days, it will have passed. The problem is the parliament has gone for a recess. I think they go for like 14 days or something. So by the time they come back, it will have passed. You see? So then something that angered people so much is he said, okay, he tried to say that he's going to call the young people for dialogue and all that. But he said that the people who died yesterday are only 6.
Huh?
We are talking about across the country. For example, in Nairobi, we could be talking like yesterday people were talking about, let's say over 20 in Nairobi CBD. Githurai people are saying
Over 300.
over 300. Let's say over 200. Then we have Eldoret, which is over 8, Nyeri over 4, Nakuru
Now
over
that's
6.
different towns in
Those
Kenya.
are different towns in Kenya. So most people are saying the number could as well go close to 500. That's a genocide. And that's why people were angry. Then an hour later, the deputy president came in. And now the deputy president is not blaming the president, he's blaming the director of DPP,
Public prosecution.
director of public prosecution, and saying that he has failed the president. But that's crazy because I think they are just looking for someone to follow. You see? But guys are not listening because tomorrow people are saying Ruto must go and people are going to the State House. Millions of people will land there and we don't know if we will meet the military. We don't know what will happen. But tomorrow is another big day.
On mission.
So,
Occupy State House.
If you do pray to the Most High, pray for Kenya so that people can win and we can restart our country. So one thing for sure is most of the abducted youths are still missing, and the president talked about, he openly saying that the police are the ones who are taking them at night, and all that. Then parents are crying in them because there are a lot of missing people, and mostly you find someone is missing, you find them in the morgue with a bullet on their head. It's very sad. Mothers are crying, people are crying, children are crying. We are all crying because we don't know what will happen. It's the most criminal thing that we've ever seen in Kenya. It's a tyrannical thing, and what we need is freedom from all this. And when you look at the MPs who have led to all this, they are there smiling and
Clapping.
yeah, clapping. So it's very, very, very crazy. Another thing that the president's saying is he keeps talking about looking for jobs abroad. But do you know what young people are saying? We don't want to go abroad because you find someone is learned, they have a degree. But when you go abroad, you go to become a nanny, you go to become a cleaner, a security something. But in Kenya, you can become everything that you want. So young people do not want to go abroad, but they keep insisting that I'm looking for jobs in Germany, I'm looking for jobs in Israel, in Britain. But people are saying, no, we want to create our jobs here and live here. Because it's very good and easy, and life becomes so good if you manage to create jobs here. But what are they doing? The small, especially the freelancers, are starting to get tax. Imagine the government is not creating jobs, but when they
You
want
start
to,
your own hustle.
you start your own hustle and they want to
That.
take it away
Yeah.
to expand their tax base so that they can continue taking money from IMF and putting in their pockets. We are seeing the state house renovation only costing 1 billion Kenyan shillings. That's a lot of money. I think like $10 million. It's a lot of money, right?
Renovations, state house. That
Renovations.
thing looks brand new. What are
Yes.
they renovating?
Then we have the budget, which is crazy. He keeps talking about building affordable housing that it will create jobs. But the jobs it creates is manual labor. Like
Carpentry.
you are very good in computer science,
Mm.
or you are civil engineer, you're supposed to design, and it's the people, you know, foreigners who are building this building. So the only thing you can do is become a handyman, that you carry the cement, you carry the rocks, those manual laborers. It's crazy. People are tired, so tired. If you listen to people, they don't want anything to do with the president or his MPs.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sad state indeed. And we have seen a lot of foreigners, especially the embassies, different officials from the different embassies in Kenya. I think the airport, there are pictures from the airport that people are fleeing away from Nairobi. A lot of people are scared and are like worried about the state of affairs that is currently happening in Kenya. The U.S. Embassy keeps on alerting its citizens that there are demonstrations in Kenya. It's a scary sight for them. And we saw the U.S. ambassador also being taken out.
That apparently
Yeah,
they're saying he
allegations
left.
are that they have already taken her out also because it's a scary state when the people rise up against corruption and when the people are informed of who is causing these things that are really affecting them, because they keep on saying that the finance bill will allow or will help Kenya to raise so many billions for employing teachers, so many billions for doing this and that. But when you look at the number of billions that have been collected in just the previous 2 years that the president has been in office, you cannot account for any of these billions. The only thing you can see is flashy cars, nice clothes, shoes, just for themselves and for their families. The common person is suffering. The common person can't even afford bread,
Yeah.
something that most people eat every day.
And they wanted to tax the bread.
They still will, because if the bill continues, it means that they have won and the common mwananchi will suffer and they will continue to suffer. Our brothers and sisters in the US are saying that you can't own land in the US. This is what is going to happen in Kenya, to Kenyans in Africa, in our own motherland. Something that Malema keeps on saying: a man is not a man without land. What can you even tell somebody if you
Because
don't have a piece
when
of land?
when you have land, it's where you develop, you grow your food. You actually, when you have land, it's difficult
That
to
is
make
where you get
to make
buried.
someone a slave.
Can't.
But and in Africa, that's where you get buried, because
Very important.
when I think about land, all my ancestors are buried
Yeah.
there.
When you go back to that land where they are buried, you feel the connection.
They feed me in many ways, food, spiritually, a lot of many
It
things.
is a very state in Kenya. Very unfortunate that young Kenyans had to die for just protesting, just for saying we can't have this.
And I think yesterday was like a scare, because I think these guys are so scared that they will do anything just to make sure it doesn't happen. But we are at the brink of, people just taking, because the people now know the constitution, and the constitution says that the sovereignty belongs to the
Belongs to the
people,
people.
and they can very easily take it from the leaders, and that's what the people want.
The bravery that I saw yesterday was
Crazy,
something
crazy.
I have never seen it anywhere.
Yeah.
Somebody going towards where the bullets are being fired, and this is live ammunition. People were going and facing the gunmen like, kill me, because what else am I living for? I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to gain. Just finish me off. People died. We saw somebody's brain lying on the road just across Parliament. And to imagine that the president can just look at that and say, to hell with you guys.
And it's sad, guys. I don't know what you feel. I don't know what would you want for Kenya? As in, what would you want Kenya to have right now? Because all we want is the revolution to be successful. I not say.
Brothers and sisters, let us know what you think in the comment section down below. We are saddened. We are just lost of words, honestly. This is something very unfortunate, and we hope that Kenya will eventually be liberated from all this nonsensical government, from all this nonsensical leadership. I think at this point we don't even need people to start saying we'll cut on the travel. The president said
Dialogue
that
and shit,
in the press conference that he just recently
You
cutting
stop
down
becoming
on
a Batman.
cutting down on traveling, cutting down on expenditure. I mean, this is not about cutting down on anything. Honestly, right now the people just want one thing, and may it succeed.
And the problem with him is, guys, as you know, he's been lying. Actually, Kenyans been saying if he's not flying, he's lying. And they call him Mtukufu Lies. Like normally we say Mtukufu Rais, like His Excellency the President. In Swahili it's Mtukufu Rais. But now they say Mtukufu Lies, like he lies. His Excellency lies. When he's not flying, he's lying. So even right now, when it's so dire that he needs to save his, post or seat, people are saying, we know you are lying. So it's like that story you hear of a kid who used to cry, hyena is coming to eat the goats, but he was playing. But now when
It
he
happens
needed
for real.
when he needed people because it was happening for real, he could not. Why?
They're
Because
used to the lies.
people said, he's lying. It's the same thing that happened today, and nobody is listening. So tomorrow, young people of Kenya and the older people have said that they will join. They will be going to State House.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye bye.